Okay, I'm going to try this again. We encountered an error. What does that mean? Yeah, Periscope's not working right today, it appears. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, can you see me? Can you hear me? It's further away. Hi. I've got the camera further up on a frame here. The last time I did a video, I had it attached to my OttLite and it seemed to be okay, but some people are saying it's too close. I'm afraid this is too far away. But you'll be able to see the basics of what I'm doing. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Lori. You can see and you can hear me. Okay, good. That's a start. So looks great. Okay. Bobby, I don't know if you know, can you change the orientation of the way that it's filming? Because some people are saying they can only see it one way on their phone. There is a way? Okay. Can you tell me how to do it? Or do I have to do it before I start? Or should I just stick with what I'm doing? It's Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Okay, I'm going to get started. Yeah, you think you have to do it before. Okay, so as long as you can see okay, I'm going to get started because we're already running a little behind. So thank you all for stopping in, and for those that are watching afterwards, hopefully I'll be able to get it posted in the group. So what we're doing today is we're having this is our monthly Crafting with Kimmy live color along. So this time what we're going to be using is we're going to use the You Lift Me Up stamp set by artist Cheryl Grant. We released this set with all of our other love themed, Valentine themed. Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, I think they're pretty awesome too. These ones are by Cheryl Grant, and we released them in December along with our other Valentine and love themed stamps. It's a really cute set, and it's got two main images. This is Lucas and Lulu, and there are 8 sentiments that go with it, and I've been using them for a bunch of different things. Today, if I can grab one, I'll show you. Today is a snow day here in southwestern Ontario. It's pretty cold and snowy, and my daughter actually has the day off of work, so we've been getting crafty here in the craft room. So I'll show you a couple of things that we've made. We used a couple of these sentiments on something, so I'll be sure to show you those. So I mentioned in the group on the event page that the paper pad that I'm using for this card is by We Are Memory Keepers, and it's called Hello Darling. And I love the combination of colors. I love purples anyway, but the purples and the blue greens and I refer to everything as Copic colors now, YGs, and so there are really some really nice colors and patterns in here. There are a couple of these still in the store, and they do happen to be on sale at the moment. So that's the paper pad we're going to use. If you don't have it, you can use whatever papers you happen to have. Now, I gave you the list of the markers that we're going to be using. I posted them on the event page, and so you can use these. These are the ones we're going to use today, that I'm going to use. If you want to use different colors, that's fine too. But that's what I'm going to use to go with the Hello Darling papers. And these are the 2 patterns that I went with, and I'll show you how we're going to use them later. So if you want to grab those and have those handy. And what I did, this is the finished colored image that I did using the BGs and the Vs. And so we're going to color that up. And what I did was I stamped a couple more of them out just in case, you know, I make any mistakes or goof up. So I'll show you how I colored it up. I also cut out the Lucas as well. You could use him if you wanted to color up a boy card at the same time. You could use the same colors, and maybe I like using different colors for items that you would think, like a star, you would normally color a yellow, some sort of yellow YR maybe, but I like using different colors. So you could maybe even color that one in the purple, or in the blue green. There's also some light pinks in the paper too. So you can just play around with things. I like doing things a little bit different every time. So let's just get coloring here. So you actually fussy cut those out. What I used for mine is I got the new, what's it called? Brother Scan and Cut. I got it just before Christmas, so I've been using it to cut everything out, and it makes stuff so much simpler. And I'm really enjoying cutting things out and popping them up a lot. If you prefer, you could stamp it on a rectangular piece of paper and then do some clouds and blue sky and scenery in the background. So you could do that too. It's totally up to you. This is just the layout that I went with. So I always do skin first. Do you guys do the skin colors first, generally speaking? How do you like to color? Yes, Lori, it's kind of like a silhouette. But it just cuts out stamped images. I haven't figured out what else it can do. I'm sure it can do lots of other things. The silhouette can cut out like files, like you can put in files to make different size boxes, or, you know, all sorts of different things. But I'm not sure lightest to darkest for me. Yeah, you skin first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll take one of these Lulus, and I'm going to start what I've been doing lately. Okay, so for the skin, I'm using E01, E11, and E13, and then I use a little bit of R20 for the cheeks. So what I've been doing lately is, and like I said, I like to try what other people do, and, you know, just that's the best way to figure out how you like it, is to play around with it and figure out what works for you. So I'm going to start with the E13, and I'm just going to put in a little bit of shading around her face. So if you want to color along, just grab your markers. And this is E13. A little bit in her ears. And then, of course, under her chin. And a little bit on her arm, under her fingers. And under her skirt there. And so that's the E13. And what I'll do sometimes is I'll start with dark and go to light. And then because the light really blends out the darker colors, I'll sometimes go back with the darkest just to add a little bit more definition. So I'm going to go with the E11 now and extend that shade a little bit further. I love watching. Now, you know, for those who are joining for the first time, I do not claim to be a fantastic colorer. I just like to color, and I like to color with friends. So what better way to do it than to do a live Periscope? And I like to watch other people color. So when other people do videos or Periscopes, I just love tuning in just to watch and see how they do it, and or sometimes like pick up a little tip that I never thought of, or that there's always something new to learn. So that's E11, and then I'll go with the E01. Now a lot of people use E00, or some people use E21. I like E1 because it's a little bit pinker. How about you guys? You're learning so much from us ladies. Well, thanks, Debbie. Yeah, it's great to, I love getting together with friends. I think you'll probably all agree that the Craft and Kimmy design team is fantastic. And I'm lucky because several of the ladies live locally to me, or within a couple of hours. So we like to get together, and I just love, I could sit beside some of these girls and just watch them color the whole time. We have lots of fun together. And I hope you guys have some crafty friends that you can get together with. So now what I did was I colored with the E00. I use E0000, E01, then RV00 for the cheeks. Oh, cool. I didn't know that, Tracy. That's a good combination. I'll have to try that next time. So I'm just adding a little bit of R20 to the cheeks. Now what I did was I took the E01 and I left the center of her face white, because I'm going to go back with the E00 to blend in the cheeks. and then that will leave the center of her face a little bit lighter. So just blend everything together. I would love to see a video by Crafty Girl Jenny on how she does her cheeks, because she does the best cheeks for these guys, Lucas and Lulu and Lexi. And hi Lisa, I just saw Lisa jump in. And yeah, I love watching videos by the Crafty Girls and other designers to see how people color stuff, coming up with different color combinations. It's so much fun to learn and then to try things out. So I hope that when you watch our videos, you will join in and try things out and show us what you make. So I've done all the skin now, and like I said, when you go dark to light, it really blends out the dark, and sometimes I like to make it stand out a little more, so I'll go back with the darkest one. So this is E13, and I'm just adding a little bit more around where the shadows are going to be, around her hairline and in her ears and under her chin. So just, I'm using just the very tip of the marker. Okay, so I think that's okay for now. So then I'm gonna move on to, okay, so here's the original. Now, I think I'm gonna do her hair next. So I used the ends. I told you to use whatever grays you happen to have, will work just fine. I'm using the ends, which are neutral grays. You could also use the T's, which are toner grays, or the C's, which are cool, and the W's, which are warm. Now, I think if I was going to choose between, you love the colors you chose for her hair. You do? Thanks, Michelle. I have a hard time with black, and there was like a dark navy bluey black in the paper, so I wanted to go with the black. And I know some of the girls use like a blue, like a BV, I think, in with their you've never done black hair before? Cool. So I'm going to use the ends. I think if I were to choose between cools and warms, I would probably go with warms with this one, but it's just whatever you happen to have. So I'm going to use the 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I'm going to start with the lightest. I'm going to start with NBV29. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, blue with the black. So maybe I should grab the BV29 if I can find it, and see if we can try it out. BV29. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it in time. I've got BV25. Oh, BV29. Okay, so I'll give it a try. Let's just play. So I'm going to use the N2, and it's the lightest color. So you can pretty much color the whole thing. Whatever area, you know, the hair that you're coloring with the lightest one. Now, some of the girls are just amazing with the, I find it hard to do the swirly hair ponies and get them shaded right, but some of the girls are just incredible at it. So that was N2. So then I'm going to move to the next darkest, which is N4. And I'm going to flick towards the middle of her bangs. So from the top and flick downwards. Not completely, not the whole area, but just towards the middle. Okay. So that's the number 4. So if you're using N4 or C4, W4. So you're going to use less and less as you get darker and darker. So keep in mind, I'm just playing around here. And then N6. And I'm going to do not quite as far. I'm going to flick towards the middle with the number 6. I like that these images are not, they're not like realistic images. They're cartoony and fun. So everything doesn't have to look, you know, absolutely perfect, which is a good thing. Oh no! Oh, oh nuts. Okay. So if anybody ever have that happen? So that's the N6 just, yeah, nuts is right. That's not the word I was going to say. Is it just blurped all over my image. So I'm not going to try to fix that. I'm going to quickly go ahead with the hair again. Who else has had that happen? Anyone? Please say somebody else. I find, see, those are newer markers, and I find that, hate when that happens, yes. I find that the newer ones are sometimes overfilled. So technically I should have been coloring with it, with both ends open. But I wasn't because I was too busy thinking of other things. Okay, so that's the N2. Go back with the N4, and I'm going to take both caps off so it can breathe. And it was the N6 that did it. Oh, this today's Periscope has been nothing but problems. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. It's too high pressure. Yeah, in them. Yeah, there's too much ink. Exactly, Lisa. I'd rather they put too much ink in rather than too little, but I have to remember to keep the cap off. So now I'm going to be all wound up here, and I'm probably going to mess something up. So this is the N6. This is the one that blobbed. So I'm going to color quickly, just doing some flicks toward the middle with the 6. And now my hand is shaking, so that's always fun. So this is the number 6, so it's the next darkest. Okay, and then we were going to try BV29 for the darkest one. So I'm going to add just a little bit of blue. Yeah, the blue makes it look not so flat, I think. So I'm just going to do it at the very bottoms of her bangs. Flick towards the top and flick down from the top. I feel like I'm just doing a terrible job. So you're learning everything not to do today. So it's going to be dark right by her ponytail where it's bunchy. And then it goes down beside her arm, so be careful not to color into the arm. So that's BV29. See how it gives a, I'm not sure if you can really see that. Let's see. But it has a blue tone to it, whereas this one I just used the grays, so it's flatter looking. So I'm going to go back with probably, let's see, N4 and fill in a little bit of the areas just to bring it together. And like I said, I like that they're sort of sketchy images. They're not completely, you know, they're not realistic by any means, so they're lots of fun. Anything can be any color, however you want to make it look. Play around with colors. So that's what we're gonna leave her hair at, because I don't want to touch that N6 anymore. And I'm gonna go in and color her skin really quickly, since we missed that, or since we blobbed on the other one. I'm gonna leave this one so you can see. And this time I'm going to color light to dark and see if it comes up looking too much different. So this set, like I mentioned, it's called You Lift Me Up, and it was released in December, along with our other lovey sort of stamp sets like Beauty and the Beast and You're Nifty, and actually You're Nifty, because somebody begged for it. I I put it on in as part of the Frugal Fridays this weekend. So that one, actually, I don't have a ton of them left. So if you wanted to get it and it's on special right now, I would suggest grabbing it while it's on sale. I put the Frugal Fridays up this morning, and there are over a dozen that I put up this morning on sale, 20 to 50% off for the weekend, and while supplies last, because some of them are close to selling out. So you want to hop over and check those out. So I'm adding E13 to the darkest area, so just a little bit where the shades are going to be. Then I'm going to go with my E01. So that's my lightest one. I know a lot of people use the E00 and 00. I want to play around with some different combinations, but right now I'm really liking the extra little bit of, I think the E01 seems more pink to me. So I'm going to color that in. I'm going to leave the center of the face a little bit of white there. And then I'm going to add R20 for the cheeks. And I just really dab. I don't flick or color in. I just sort of dab with the R20. And then I'm going to go back with the E01 and just blend it all together. There. Okay, so I think we're all caught up again. Tried to do quickly. Now, for the the balloon and the shoes, I used VO1 for the lightest, VO5, and VO6. I love this purple color. It's not a dark purple. It's like a fuchsia purple, I guess. So I'll start with the VO1, doing the heart-shaped balloon, and I'm really coloring in the whole thing using the VO1. So it doesn't look too pretty when you do your first layer. Do the bottom of your balloon as well, and then I will also do the main part of the shoe. I left the bottoms and where the laces go, I've left them white. And I'm just using VO1 to do the base layer, the base color. And then VO5 is the next color. Now you can see that what I did with this one was I sort of went just around the frame, because I want to make it sort of pop out. I don't want it to be a flat image. I want the balloon, because of course balloons have, you know, rounded edges. And then let's just work on the balloon. And then this is the darkest color, the VO6. And again, this is just, you know, me playing around. I'm sure that there are real Copic professionals out there that do it differently than I do, or way better than I do. So I'm going to go back with the VO1 and color over the whole area. So now it's nice and wet. And I'm going to go back with the middle color, which is VO5, and color it all over. So see how it's left the middle sort of lighter, and you can see the edges better with the VO6. I've seen the way some of the design team girls have colored their balloons, and they just look fantastic. Now, of course, you can add dimension to your balloons as well by adding crystal effects or using a clear glaze pen on them as well. So there's different options for making that really pop. Now for the shoes, I'm going to use the middle color, which is the VO5, and just add a little bit around the sides and the bottom. And then again with the VO6, just a I'm just using the tip around the edge and the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to go back with the lightest color, the VO1, and blend it up or out. Now the VO1 is quite light, but I like it for the base. And then you can go back with the VO5. That way it doesn't look so stark when you've got a nice layer of the light one underneath it. So I'm going to leave the socks and the laces and the base of her shoes white. The cat, I'm not very good at coloring animals. However, I thought I'd use the same grays as I did for her hair. So I just love the look on the kitty's face here. So I'm going to color, I'm going to use the N2 for the base color. And then you can go in with the darker colors to add some flicks. If that's some people, when you're coloring fur, they color with little tiny flicks, or with, you can pounce with your markers, your different color markers. And the great thing about the markers that I like is that you don't have to have every color. You can darken it up with, the same marker, just going over it several times. So I'm going to use the N4 here. That being said, I do have a lot of the markers. You don't have to have them all, but it's kind of nice. So I'm just adding some shading around the kitty's neck and arms and tummy. Now, see, I don't like leaving his face stark like that, but I'm almost scared. So I'm just going to do a little bit of flicking with the next darkest, which is the N6. So does that look okay? I don't know if you can even see it that far away. I'm going to try, let's see, I'm going to try the BV29 just a little bit as the darkest, just around his neck and where the shading's going to be. I don't want to do around his face because I think that's too dark. I'm going to try the N6 around his face, but again, this is the one that blobbed here earlier, so I'm going to take the lid off and just add a couple of little flicks where his whiskers are. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like that, so I might go back in with the N2 and just dab it a little bit just to blend it out a bit around his face. There, I think that's not too bad. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's move away from the kitty. And the last thing we have to do is the BG colors. So I used BG 10, 53, and 57. So I used the really light BG 10 just to lay down the first layer of color. So I'm going to do the whole thing in BG 10. Another thing that I love about the way that Cheryl draws, she always draws these cute little dresses on the girls, on Lulu and Lexi, and they're always nice and open so that you could, one of my favorite techniques is paper piecing. So you can use one of the tiny patterns from the paper pad that we're using. let's see. There are some big patterns. See, something like that you could use, or a little tiny floral, or see that's just got a little bit of lines on it. Like there's a crisscross pattern on there. So some of the other ones are too big, but some paper pads have some really nice tiny patterns so that you could paper piece her outfit. So now I'm going to go with the BG53. I think these ones are some of my favorite BGs. These are like the newer ones, I believe. And I'm going to add some where I think the shadow is going to be. I'm looking at it like the sun is coming from the right. So that's BG 53, and then a little bit of BG 57. And that's the darkest one. And I like that, I mean, I'm definitely no artist. And I don't know how things should be colored, but I like that I can go in and do it one way, and then if I don't like it, I can change it up. So this, I can do one layer, and now I'm going to go back with the BG 53 and darken it up. You can always make things darker. So I like to start with the lighter markers, and then if I don't like it, I can go in and make it a little bit darker. You can never make it lighter as such. So I always start with the lighter markers and then go in and change it up with the darker ones. So this is BG 57 again. And I like how it's blended together. And then I'm just adding a little bit more of the darker. I like the way that turned out. Okay. Is anybody still there? And then I did her dress in the BGs, and then I'm going to do the bow and the little baubles in her hair. And I'm not going to bother with the BG 10. I'm just going to use the 53 and the 57. So I'm just going to do the whole thing in 53. And then go back with the 57 and just add like a little bit of a letter C sort of in the baubles, just to add some depth to it. And then just do the sides of the bow in her hair. So I think that's about it. I think. Now, what I did with the image, and I'll show it to you here. I did it ahead of time. I took my Sharpie poster paint pen in white. I love this tool because I can add just a few dots. I could make her whole dress polka dotted, or what I did was I just added a trio of little white dots here and there, just on her shoes, just to add a little interest to the image itself. So I'll show you my idea for the rest of the card. And I mean, you can go ahead and make whatever design you want and a different layout. I just thought I'd make something easy. So I took, this is just general white cardstock. I made an A2 sized card. And then I took this pattern, which is the purple with some lace hearts. I took a more solid one for the back, and then one with a little more interest to it for the top layer. So what I do now this is my personal, the way that I like to do it, I always make the differences between the layers if I'm matting it 3/16 of an inch. So this is 4 1/4 wide, so I make it 3/16 smaller that way and 3/16 smaller this way. So I'm just going to attach it quickly here. What's everybody's favorite adhesive? This is by Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L, and it's just a quick, easy runner that I like to use. Generally, I'll use a roll. You like Tombow, Elizabeth? And I think Melanie does too. She uses the white liquid glue. ATG, is that big gun, Kelly? I can't get that thing to work. Someone gave me one and I screw it up every time. It gets caught up and stuff. Now where's my... So this layer, I took the patterned paper. It's like a light pink background with all the little falling hearts. I really like the look of that. And I stamped the sentiment, one of the sentiments from the set, sending you some love. And I stamped it right in the corner and it shows up nicely. Now I always use, when I'm doing my sentiments, I always use the VersaFine. You want to use your memento for the items that you're going to be coloring, the stamps that you're going to color with your Copic markers, because it doesn't bleed. But when I do my sentiments, I always use VersaFine because it's a real thick ink and it has really good coverage, but it does take a while to dry, so that's why I stamped it ahead of time. So this layer is 3.5 by 4.5, and then I cut a white piece 3/8 of an inch bigger on all sides. So I'll just attach that. I wanted to make a really just simple layout so that everybody could play along and it wasn't some intricate design that would take us forever to do. So this is the way I'm going to set it up. And then the image I'm going to put on here. Now, originally I had thought about putting a doily, one of the mini Doodlebug doilies on there, but I decided against it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of lace trim because I figure everybody has some sort of lace trim. Now this is a really narrow piece, so it's all in how what you like, what you think. If you want to use a wider piece, you can go ahead. But that was just a random scrap piece that I found in my drawer. So I'm going to attach this flat to the base because I want to glue down my trim. So I'm going to put it about here, I think, and then put my girl there. So, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I kind of like the one I colored today. But what I'm going to use, now what do you guys use for putting your trim on, for putting flowers on? What I'm going to use today is the Glossy Accents because I find it really holds things down well. So I'm going to just use a little bit of Glossy Accents. Do you guys use a liquid glue or... Yeah, Glossy Accents too, Tracy. So I'm going to put it right about here, not too close to the sentiment. And press it down there. I've tried a couple of different liquid glues, but I really like the Glossy Accents, and I find that it doesn't get jammed up in the nozzle. Some of the strong liquid glue. Yeah, you too, Lisa. Okay, so I've left it over the end there, so I'm going to just trim off the ends. I like to do it afterwards because sometimes it spreads further, and then you can just trim it off. And got a little bit of glue on here. And then I'm going to pop dot, excuse me, pop dot my image. So I'm going to flip it over this way and put and I'm just using, honestly, dollar store pop dots. I find they work just great and they hold really well. And I'm going to put the pop dots everywhere except where the trim is going to be. So that should be good. And I'm going to use the image that I just colored up. And like I said, you could add to your image you could put Glossy Accents on your balloon. You could put glitter on your balloon, which I might do later. But that is the finished card. There you go. So that's the finished card that I, using the items and the products that I posted in the group. Yeah, it's quick and easy. It's a fun layout that you can use with a lot of your other images, and so you could use the same layout, different papers with another image or with the Lucas image, and there's 8 different sentiments that you can use with it. Now, what I thought I'd also do is I love it when the girls finish the insides of their cards. Tracy does it each and every time, I'm sure. So, and since it's white on the inside, what I thought I'd do was grab the same image, or you could use the, actually, I think I'll use Lucas. So I'm going to use Lucas, and I'm going to color him. I'm going to ink him up in a colored ink. So I'm going to use the Dewdrop, the Memento. It's called Lilac Posies. And because it coordinates with the paper that we used from the Hello Darling paper pad. So, ooh, this is going to be fun. So that's Lucas, and I'm going to put him sort of over to the side, and I might not even put the whole image in there because I want to leave room to, oh yeah, I want the whole star in there. So let's put it up close to the top. Ooh, I love that. That's the first time I've used that ink color. I love it. And then we can take a different sentiment. So for the outside, we used Sending You Some Love. And then let's see, how about You Are a Star for the inside sentiment. So I'm going to ink that up. Now, see, I don't know that I've used this sentiment yet, so yeah, I want to make sure it stamps well. So I've stamped it off first. And let's see if it stamps better. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to ink it all up. You Are a Star. And I think I'm going to put it right up here. So there's the inside of my card. You Are a Star. And Lucas. And it's in a coordinating color. And you could also stamp up the envelope you're going to put it in. So that's the finished card there. So that's using the new You Lift Me Up stamp set. And like I said, it is on, I do have it on, I think 10% off right now, and I'm going to leave it that way for the weekend. So if you wanted to grab it, you can. And the paper pad that we used is Hello Darling, and I only have a couple of those left in the shop. So if you want to grab that too, or if you want to use papers you already have, that's great too. The other thing I was going to show you is, oh, here we go. I made, some of you, I posted like a sneak peek of something I was working on the other day, and some of you asked to see it when I was finished. So I used the new Love Chemistry stamp set, and this came out the same time as the You Lift Me Up stamp set. And so I was fooling around with the beakers, and I made my own background using the, I think it's like a molecule or an atom or something. I don't know. I'm not a science geek, but so I used this stamp here, and I used a pink shimmery, I think it's Brilliance ink, to make the background on a piece of white. I layered in pink and red, and this paper, these papers are just from, they're from actually I think it's last year's Doodlebug. Love Bugs maybe is the stamp set, or the paper pad. And so I just made a border at the bottom. I did a little background piece, and I stamped the little love aroma, I don't know what to call it, the little stamp there on the background. And then you can see I pop dotted, this is the beaker. Yeah, I love Doodlebug. Yeah, it is Love Bugs. Okay, thanks, Tracy. And so what I love about this stamp set is that it has lined images, and then it also has solid images. So I stamped the lined beaker and then stamped the solid liquid to go in it using the same pink ink. So, and then I just added a button and some twine and some Doodlebug enamel dots there. So that's, I think that's what else. Oh, there was other thing I wanted to show you. Oops. I just kicked one of the dog's bones. But Emily and I were making up some cute little bags today. And they're just little paper bags with hearts on them. And we use these little tags and some twine to go around it. And I stamped, this is one of the sentiments from the You Lift Me Up stamp set I used. Again, I used Sending You Some Love. So we just put some little conversation hearts and candy hearts in there. And so she's going to give them to some people at the office, and some of my friends might get some. So yeah, it was fun and really quick to make them up. So we just folded it over, added a little flag with a sentiment, and added some twine and a little pop dot heart. And that's it. So I think that's it. We're all set. We finally got everything going. Where's my finished card? Here it is. So there you go, a quick and easy card, and thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Kelly, you rock too. And thanks for joining me, and I'll let you know. I'll pick another stamp set, and we'll do it again in a few weeks or a couple weeks. We'll see. Okay, thanks a bunch, and we'll see you soon. If I can turn it off. Oh, I did it again. Okay, seriously. Okay, bye.